Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It's markets in the morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is a blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is April 19th. It is Wednesday, April 19th of 2023. This is Markets in the Mornings, where we take a look at what the price action of the cryptocurrency market is looking like with the Bitcoin price chart. We'll look at XRP price chart, Ethereum price chart, just all the altcoins and the whole market in general. Then we also take a look over there at the stock market. We look at metals. We look at all kinds of stuff, any type of news that's going on to get the morning started, to get on with our day. So we'll go ahead and start jumping right in on everything in here. Trying to think if there's anything I forgot. Well, it's Wednesday. We have down price action today, but that's okay. We still treat Wednesdays as if they're a great day.
It is Wednesday, my
It is Wednesday, my dudes. All right, there we go. Let's get the day started. Hop on into a Wednesday, my dudes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you could, hit the like button. It's the #1 way to support the channel. Look at all the frogs in the chat. You guys always go nuts. I appreciate it. Let's go and take a look at what's going on. We got a pretty big pullback over here in the Bitcoin price chart. So let's take a look over here. Whoop. So yesterday we were taking a look at this. Take a look at this in a smaller time frame. Whoop. We had pulled back off of the top here, and what do you know, it went right back into a 702 Fibonacci retracement level, and then wham, it falls down in here. Kind of make it through the whole Gary Gensler hearing, no problem, but it's really kind of just right here in the middle of the night, just kind of goes whack. Anyway, this has been a challenge to predict. I actually posted this over here on Twitter this morning. It was something I noticed when we did hit our bottom, how like this is how reversals end up happening. Let me get this off the screen. We'll do it like that. That is what reversals look like, and that, you know, we do this and we go up, and so like kind of what we're talking about right now with Bitcoin on that shorter time frame, how we were talking about, hey, right here, right, we're talking about a short squeeze happening right in here, as I posted over here on April 10th, and as I posted in my video on April 5th, being like, you know, we're stuck looking for a short squeeze to take us out to the upside, and then for it to pull back down, right? Which is what we ended up having when you look at this from the inverse perspective of Bitcoin at the bottom. And also that is what happened with Bitcoin at the top, is that it consolidate, short squeeze, and then it turns over on itself. But one thing that was interesting as well is just how this looks like a typical reversal structure in here, is just how these actually end up looking, right? And how torturous it would be for the bears if that does end up being our case to play out in there. I've looked at this a couple of times. It's not like a crystal clear perfect match, but it shows you how reversals do look in here. Shows you how we're looking right now, how we've held and breaking, and essentially just kind of being a washing machine. And so it does kind of go along with that. Even when you play with these figures in here that give you a pullback to maybe $25,000, $24,000, which is really what we're kind of looking at for here, for going through kind of the summer of, I don't even know what you call it. I mean, yeah, there's the term "selling may go away." Everybody knows that term, but like crypto winter, like they call it crypto winter, like it's bad, right? But crypto summers aren't exactly thrilling either. But we'll see if this continues to play out. But that is my thought. You know, I've been in the camp of thinking that the bottom of Bitcoin has been in. And structurally, yeah, we got to pull back. Even if you pulled back deeper and you pulled back up to 25. Be something, you know, these moves don't look so drastic when you're kind of looking at them like this, but you do realize, hey, that still gets you to 25, some type of move like that. Not a scientific method going on in here, but just to kind of give you a visual representation of how reversals can look. And then you go back into your standard view. And then, you know, our brains don't process it the same because we don't see it from the same angle, but how that is the similar move happening in there. So anyway, that was fun. But waiting to see, is there going to be more of a follow through here for Bitcoin? One of the things on my radar, Ethereum. We've been talking about Ethereum and comparing this to the two reversal structures for both Bitcoin and for Ethereum throughout history. You got some from Ethereum in 2016 and 2017. You got some from Bitcoin in 2015. You got some in 2017. This is this is where the cautions come in. This is what I wrote about in my newsletter too that I put out last week about watching this level hold in a back test and then a continuation. And we talked about this in Markets in the Morning yesterday, that wouldn't want to see this thing get down too far. There's plenty of time in the day for something silly to happen and this thing pops back up and then it's just a wick below these levels. We hold all daily candle closes and the thing just starts shooting its way back up. But, should Ethereum start settling in here, right? If it just starts to kind of settle in here, it starts to really set itself up for a Wyckoff accumulation spring phase to come next, which is the same thing we've been talking about over here on XRP for several weeks now. So, when you look at XRP, does it look identical to how this is all played out? No, I wouldn't say it looks identical any longer, but still it's in the range. And I suspect this to still be the exact play just because we're not playing on the same hourly time format. It still seems the same. We still ranged in here for quite a while. There's a potential this thing has already started falling. Very difficult. I got asked by someone this morning. They said, hey, do you think this is actually the start of the fall? It's hard because these ranges can be so big and so volatile and just keep shooting back and forth up to the top of them. I'm still sticking with my beliefs that I don't think we're going to get out of here. I do think we're going to head back down to these lows, but I'm not quite confident to say this determines that it has begun. We're on our way down right now because I know how much of a washing machine these things can be in here before we eventually get there. But one thing to take notice is that it did start to kind of just teeter along for some time. And then finally it does have somewhat of a break. Either way for me with XRP, it's just kind of patiently waiting along on here. Now, why would you think to yourself, well, duh, obviously, if XRP is going to be doing this, then one would think that Ethereum is going to be doing it at the exact same time because this market does move together. But it's not fully the case with Ethereum and with XRP. You do actually see them move separately at some points in the end, and the broader trend of things by, when an alt season comes to an end, they both tend to end similar time periods. But when you look back to the time period dating back to here, when this was all going on for XRP. And if we go back for Ethereum and you go back into this moment right in here where Ethereum was already taking off, this entire move that happens right in here, just to this point right in here, this all still happens while XRP is in Doomtown. And so I've talked about capitulation in many times and how I would think that there would be a lot of negativity, there would be a lot of toxicity in the market, a lot of anger and frustration amongst retail investors coming in at this particular time. Maybe some negative news comes in at that time too to really put the cherry on top to cause capitulation. But that there's different types of capitulation, right? You have your price capitulation where price fires down really low. You have your time-based capitulation where price just sits at the low for such a long time, people get bored. And then you have your jealousy capitulation where maybe you're getting price capitulation, maybe you're getting time-based capitulation, but at the same time, you're looking around the rest of the market and you're seeing other things taking you off, and you've now just gotten angry. You've gotten resentful. You've gotten frustrated. I chose the dumbest asset to be in. Look at this other one. It is soaring. I can't believe I did this. I'm going to be angry at everybody else except for myself. And I'm going to lash out at the whole world for it. And that will many times get people to sell, run away, and then go chase the thing that is already up. So the thing to consider here is that, hey, you're talking about Ethereum. Hey, can it hold this? Does it have to Wyckoff accumulation at the exact same time that XRP does? Since XRP is signaling that it wants to, does it mean that Ethereum has to at the same time? No, because in this phase, it didn't last time. Ethereum actually kept climbing while XRP went into that phase back there in 2016 and 2017. So the jury is still out on Ethereum, but if Ethereum did start to waffle, head lower, and then start to do one of these things, my opinion would start to be we are going to see a Wyckoff accumulation phase happen in here. So for the saving grace of Ethereum and for a breakout to actually happen in here, probably be looking for supports to be coming in pretty soon and for a continuation to happen pretty quick. Should it start to drop, should it start to waffle around in here, this seems to be the journey for Ethereum, as is XRP's. That's just my thoughts. still on the broader scale, on the bigger scale of things, still we're talking about heading back up here, right? What were we just showing? We're showing reversal fractals, all that kind of stuff happening in there. And I do think that's where we're heading. We're heading back into retracements. I think the market will do well during that time period. But what people want is for it to happen right now. It's usually a slow process, especially in retrace ranges. We have to do a lot of shaking out. You have to keep the denial in there. You have to keep the worry in there. Any type of negative price action will bring back the bears. You know it, the bears on Twitter, they've been silent. They haven't said anything. Trust me, they are all there. They are waiting to strike. They are waiting to celebrate on Twitter. They will come out in full force and in full vengeance and tell you everything you need to be terrified. They're just waiting for their moment. Don't believe me? You'll see it. You will definitely see it. They are always there waiting. They do this every time. If this is your first market cycle to watch the bears, who were the super popular bears down in here, suddenly go silent in here, and you think they're gone and they've been wrecked, trust me, they will be back. Do not think for 1 second they won't come back, and they won't have a reason to terrify you. They will come back. Otherwise, move it along. So we have pullback happening in the morning. We'll see if this actually is what we've been waiting for. The sooner we can get this over with, the happier I am. Otherwise, for me, it's just kind of being in limbo right now with XRP and several of these assets. And Ethereum, we're going to see whether or not you can continue to hold this daily close and get a shoot right back up to the upside, or do we start printing stuff that looks like Wyckoff accumulation? We talked about this yesterday, that would need to be the case for me to keep my conviction on a break, and that this is not turning into Wyckoff accumulation. This is also what I wrote about last week in my newsletter that I published on blockchainbacker.substack.com. So XRP, there you go. Looking at the stock market starting out the morning, it has been a washing machine over here in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Just look at that. That is wild. So there you go. Pretty good washing machine. We had one back over here at the exact same location. Suddenly price action starts acting that same kind of washing machine action happening right in there. The stock market did open 7 minutes ago, so let's take a look at it happening in here. You could see red start to the morning with the Dow down 118 points. We could see the NASDAQ down 66, and we could see the S&P down 17. So market's down about 0.5%, a little bit less for the indexes. Nothing too huge. Looking over here on these, what do we have? Leader Amazon, loser Netflix. And looking over at precious metals, we've actually had, it looks like a small recovery over here in gold. It really caught some steam earlier this morning. Yeah, look at that, starting to bounce back a little bit here now as the market is opened in here. We've been talking about the bearish divergence that had emerged over there on gold after it got near that top. It was losing a lot of its strength in there. We could see it on the daily time frame. Right in there, still that bearish divergence is set. That stock RSI is all the way down at the lows, and the MACD on the daily time frame has confirmed cross already, way above the baseline. So, yep, we'll see what happens over here with gold as the Dow appears to have been making an ABC in here, but still at the retracement levels. No breakout happening here for the Dow. The story is still not clear from my perspective, with us being back at retracement levels. That's scary, and we don't have confirmation of a rejection or a breakout for the Dow because gold is not telling us a story yet either. Gold is now printing bearish divergences happening here after getting through all of the retracement levels, so waiting for a story to unfold. As for the altcoin market, total 3 at least. This is the altcoin market excluding Bitcoin, excluding Ethereum. You can see last week we actually ended up having our big break through the 50-week moving average. It's the first time for us to be through that since going back to a year ago, over a year ago. And really last time we were really holding this thing was back in here. But we got our weekly close through that last week. We could see today, obviously in these last few hours, this is where the bulk of this pull down has happened in here. As we were still holding the highs of that yesterday, this morning's big move has brought us right back down, yet still holding on top of all of those. And that's just today's price action. So moving on to news. I haven't even checked the news for what today is. I think you all know Gary Gensler testified yesterday in front of the House Financial Services Committee. We'll talk about that briefly. That was interesting. I've had time to reflect on it too, and I have some positive thoughts about it. Let's see here. Bitcoin drops 29K, sudden sell-off. Longs bear the brunt in the crypto liquidations. Yeah, you would think so. Ethereum fees spike as bots send millions to front-run punters of Pepe and Chad. Okay. I think that's a new meme coin out there. That's like 1 million X'd or something. If you're buying something after it has 1 million X'd, good luck to you. It is already 1 million X'd. It does not mean it's going to 1 million X again. Is crypto tax calculator the ultimate stress reliever? That's sponsored content. Whoops. I don't know what that is. I don't use it. So I hire a real accountant. SEC Chair Gensler declines to say if Ether is a security in the contentious congressional hearing. Central banks successfully test DLT and linking financial settlement systems. Okay. Moving over here, MetaMask denies claims of a wallet. This is on Cointelegraph. Bitcoin price dives. Yeah, we all know. Blockchain platform for trading securities moves for approval. Bitcoin sparks liquidations, and Elon Musk to launch a trust-seeking artificial intelligence platform, Truth GPT. All right, broader markets. What you got? Just getting a quick recap of what's going on here. Meta has started its latest round of layoffs. All right, Meta, you're not doing well. I think we all know that. I don't know how Meta is even doing well. I like the metaverse thing they did. Like they created just a video game. That's all they did, right? Just a video game, VR game. Put like billions of dollars into it, and like nobody used it. That's kind of what I was saying about that at the time. I can go back and find a tweet. I know I made a tweet on it at the time when the metaverse hype was happening, especially with VR glasses. I think a lot of people just had never really tried VR. It is fun for the first week or two. Then you never touch it again. Literally, I have an Oculus Rift and I have the PlayStation VR. I have not used either one of them in 2 years. I used them for the first week or two, and then what I always found is felt very lonely in the VR world. Even if I was in games where there was other players, there was something so lonely feeling about plugging into that world. I just didn't like it. It was entertaining in the beginning, but then I realized it was not fun for me. All right. S&P opens lower as Morgan Stanley and Netflix decline after earnings. What do you have over here? Morgan Stanley. Tesla shares drop as Musk cuts the prices again ahead of earnings. So we're going to get Tesla earnings. Looks like they're cutting prices. Looks like they might have bad data. Yields are up. Yeah, let's go look at yields real quick. I thought I saw them up earlier. Where are you? Here you are. Nothing crazy. Okay. So, in summary, what are we at? We got a red start over here in broader markets with the indexes down about 0.5%. We also see a pullback happening over here in metals at the same time. You actually have silver slightly up, but you have gold down about 1%. DXY, small pop, nothing to run home and tell mom about. It's not a new high happening in here, so you can see this right here in the broader trend. That's what's happening with the DXY. This is over the course of March and April. So this is the last month and a half trend. Here's where you are with the DXY. Nothing crazy happening over here in the DXY at this time right now, which is the US dollar currency index. Bigger thing is about gold and what's happening over here with the Dow Jones Industrial Average. As for price action that happened over here on Bitcoin, still wondering, is this going to be the thing we have? From the video I posted over there on April 5th, that this was a short squeeze that broke out to the upside. Waiting to see if we're going to pull back, right? And if we pull back, it's probably not going to be very fun for the altcoin market at the same time, as we've been discussing over here for the XRP price chart. And now the bigger question here is what's going to happen with Ethereum. Is Ethereum going to be able to recover from this and continue a breakout? Or is Ethereum starting to flash those Wyckoff things too? I would find it so hard to believe that Ethereum is actually going into Wyckoff. This is a really good structure to just continue marching upwards in here. So I do find it hard to believe that this would go into Wyckoff. But the thing is, we would want to see a recovery start to emerge from Ethereum pretty soon rather than heading down and settling. If it heads down and settles, that's a pretty bad sign. So, but right now, we'll see if that thing can recover itself relatively quickly. Bigger news, right? Do we cover it? Do we talk about limp hand Gary? I guess we do, right? So this was something yesterday, right? Gary Gensler testified in front of Congress. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail on it because you can pretty much go to Twitter. You can go to 100,000 YouTube videos to watch the thing and not watch the highlights of it. And I won't say it. I just will give my perspective on it. And even as I mentioned in Markets in the Morning yesterday, expect there's going to be like some tough questions. He's going to dodge everything and then watch people kiss his butt. And it's become unfortunate. I'm not political on this channel, and I'm actually inconsistent on how I vote. So I'll tell you that. There's no consistency. I'm totally not biased in either direction, and I'm never ever going to come onto this channel and push you politically. Just know that my content is in no way politically motivated, and I hate both sides. It's anyway. But what I'm getting at is that what we clearly saw in that hearing with Gary Gensler is we saw political division on both sides. And now it seems to become that Democrats have taken the anti-crypto stance and Republicans have taken the pro-crypto stance. I think that's a huge mistake for Democrats to do that. I don't know how that is a positive thing in the eyes of the public to be anti-crypto. But anyway, what you're doing is you're essentially pushing anybody who likes crypto to Republican. I mean, if you have a big investment bag of crypto, it's hard to say, I'm going to go vote Democrat. And that's not political again. That's just saying, like, you saw it. You got to see it very clearly that that's what ended up happening, is that if the Democrats were very kind to Gary Gensler. And then the Republicans were hardcore. But here's the thing that was great about it is that I knew that Gary Gensler would actually end up dodging questions. It's what he's a pro at, and we've seen him do it. And so the expectation going into this would be that he would dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge every single question that happened. And right out the gates, he gets asked, is Ethereum a security? And of course, he dodged, duck, dip, dives, and dodge right away, right? The thing was, while he did classic Gary Gensler, they were prepared. They were prepared for that to happen. And they made a mockery out of it. They pinned him into a situation to make it blatantly obvious that you're dodging, that you're not answering questions. They made it look like the SEC has the highest turnover rate. Nobody will reply. There's nothing clear going on here. Won't answer the simple question of is Ethereum a security? They did a very good job of showing the problem with Gary Gensler and the SEC, that they will not provide any clarity. And you could absolutely see it. I get it. At the very beginning of it, Gary Gensler's hands are shaking like a leaf. You know what? That's actually normal for him. So I don't think like this situation was actually any different. If you look at his last hearing he did in 2021, he was shaking like a leaf right in the beginning of that one too. But what happened with that one is he settled in. He realized his antics of delay, distract, divert, change topics, don't answer questions was working beautifully. And he could just, like Texas Takeover says, weasel his way out of any questions in there and just keep on moving. And he became so confident in 2021. It didn't work this time. You could see it very clearly the whole time. He never got comfortable. His antics never worked, and Congress was prepared for him to do that this time. And I thought that was interesting. Does that change anything for any of us? Does that take Gary Gensler's insanity of the SEC out of the picture where they won't provide any clarity or instruction on how to do anything? Does that help it in any way? No. But, like they always say, it's a slow process there in Congress. And I think what we got to clearly see, and Congress is very aware, if we've been sitting here noticing it on our end and like screaming from the rooftops, this is what is happening. Not only are they aware that he is doing that, they made a mockery of it yesterday. And I think that's the first step. So get public perception to not like him, then make it easy to remove him. And Warren Davidson, who liked my tweet yesterday? Hello. A congressman, dude. Blockchain backer made it to the big times. He liked my tweet yesterday. I was like, yeah, dude. I tweeted that, he did a really good job and he proposed the removal of Gary Gensler. But like I told him in my tweet, I said, hey, look, man, there's all this talk, all this stuff, but no action really comes of it. Something needs to come from it. So let's get on it. So, yeah. BCB for Congress. Not a chance, man. Not a chance. Would never want to be in that position. I don't care about power, man. I don't care about it at all. I don't want that kind of responsibility too, because it's, believe it or not, with YouTube too, it's like, you can't please everybody. You're always going to have some people who are on one side of the spectrum who just absolutely hate your living guts and stalk you. And then you have some people who just absolutely love you. Then you got a lot of people who like you, and some people are like, yeah, you're okay. And it's everywhere in the between, and that's okay. But I assume with like politicians, dude, you have like literally people who just like absolutely despise your literal guts. You can't get everybody to like you. And that's just because of politics. I have no interest in that. And I don't think you were serious, but just so you know. All right. So what do we have going on? Anything else? Looks like let's take a look over here. What's the last couple of minutes looking like on the market? So markets have held ever since this. And so you have to understand too what happened here, right? With these sell-offs, like just so you kind of understand, I talk about this all the time too. When a price falls at this type of velocity, especially when it falls like in the middle of the night, what caused it? Sorry, hit my microphone. Is it a bunch of panic? No, it's very clear. I'm going to buy this and set my stop loss here. I'm going to buy this and set my stop loss here. I'm going to 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 set my stop loss here. Stop losses. Stop losses, stop losses, stop losses. So what do? There's your stop losses. There's your trend of stop losses. What do? You go hunt every single one of them and take out every single stop loss that sat there, right? So anybody who bought this from the long side on the way up, wham, it just all got taken out. And so that's like your parabolic ending of higher lows that happens in there, and then it goes through, and this is automatic selling, right? If price hits this, then sell. Then that causes more sell pressure. If price hits this, then sell. If price hits this, then sell. Then sell, then sell, then sell, then sell, then sell. Everybody gets wiped out, and then price bottoms. So that's just what happens when price moves at this type of velocity. It was liquidations of long positions and stop loss chase hunting. So that's what we saw happen, and that's why the prices moved down so quickly. If you are curious, I know most people know that, but a lot of people don't, and people learn something new every day. So I think that's it. Let's go ahead and hop into the chat. Where we at? 26 minutes. Let's see if we can keep this thing relatively quick. I don't know why I wanted to keep it short, but you know what we have to do. I'm already 26 minutes in. Only the people who caught the very beginning of the show got to see the best part of the show. Yeah, I'm yapping my mouth, but who cares?
It is Wednesday, my
All right. And you notice we're playing it at 1.5x today. That is for not Oscar Hernandez. Doesn't matter. We got a red day, man. Who cares? It's Wednesday, my dudes. So, all right. Let's go ahead and field what the chat's going on. Going crazy with the frogs. And I showed my wife that, not my wife. I think I told you guys this, but I showed my daughter that I used to always wake her up every Wednesday. It's my job to wake her up every Wednesday. I've got the wake up songs that I sing to her every day when I wake her up. But on Wednesdays, I used to always play It's Wednesdays, my dude. I don't do it anymore for some reason, but I used to always do it every Wednesday. And then she's like, oh, really? Do people like it when you do It's Wednesday, my dudes, on your channel? And I said, oh, yeah. I pull up the live stream and I show her, watch the chat. She goes, okay. And there goes all the frogs. And she's like, oh, my gosh. So thanks for keeping it fun, guys. All right, let's get in here. Navarro, the super chat. Thank you very much. Texas Takeover. Gary got grilled yesterday. He did get grilled. I didn't think he was going to get grilled. You know why? Because we've seen it before, and he dodges, and then there's no follow-up. They followed up yesterday. They really tried, and they made a mockery of the fact that he won't answer anything. Chris Perez says, can you explain how you use the stock RSI versus RSI? Yeah, it's actually a longer explanation than that, and I actually just got done recording that for the course. So that one got recorded Monday. Yeah, so it takes longer explanation than that, but essentially, we go into it for a long detail. You're gonna have to look at it on specific time frames and find the correlations of it, but it's pretty much showing you like the last 14-day change, the last changes in the. So it uses the stochastic formula, right? So it trying to remember it off the top of my head. It's going to subtract like the minimum max RSI minus RSI divide. I can't remember the stochastic formula. anyway, it's showing you the change that is happening in the relative strength over the course of the last like 14-day period. So you get a better visualization while you can look at like bearish divergences emerging on the relative strength. You can actually start to see the behavior changing ahead of time. So like in here, you see how there's a bearish divergence emerging already on the relative strength, but we were already getting that signal showing up here in the stochastic RSI that strength was emerging because it's comparing against the last 14 days. So it already was showing this in a different visualization of how things were already starting to fall off a cliff in here with these divergences emerging. And actually, that's not really even a divergence, is it? But we were seeing the strength had already fallen off. So this actually was not a divergence, but this was already showing us that we were falling off compared to how we had been performing earlier. Anyway, it requires a longer explanation than that, but I think that'll do for now. Thank you, Chris. Susie Casilla, thank you. Thank you so much for all you do. Always grateful. Thank you, Susie. I hope that you are doing well. You've had a heck of a year, and I hope things have turned the corner for you. I haven't seen too many updates on any of that, but I hope things have turned the corner for you. And then a member at the same time. Thank you, Susie. Smiley face. Gaurav Gulati, first time super chatter. Thank you very much. It's very generous, but you didn't leave a message. I typically see that a lot of times for the first super chat. Maybe we'll see you come up again later. If not, you're just being generous. Thank you very much. Ryan Chase, I've got a fever and the only prescription is a certified Bingus, a BC backer t-shirt. I know. I think that's just the kind of t-shirts I need to be making. You know, it feels weird for me to like put like a blockchain backer logo and like, hey, go wear my gear. But maybe if we put like 702 and we put like Dingus, like Dingus and 702 t-shirts, maybe people want that. I don't know. All right, I always say this. I'll think about it, Ryan. My wife always hounds me about it. She's like, "Do you realize people ask for this all the time?" I'm like, I know. All right. We'll see. Pi. Hit the like button. Pi reminds us, hit the like button. Thank you, Pi. Moon Daniel Bartorli. I slaughtered that, I am sure. Thank you so much for your good work. What are your thoughts on Solana, please? I think Solana has bottomed and could be ranging here for some time. I think Solana, I don't know if it lost its moving average when it did that. Let's take a look at Solana. Probably did. No. There you go. So Solana got through its 200-day moving average, and you can see that big move in there. Still okay, right? So when it went for its first attempt here, after being stuck under here for January of 2022, so over a year, finally got through it, right? So I believe this was the bottom. This is where I went ahead. I took a shot at it. Never had bought Solana in my life. Took a shot at it in here. Took off some risk off the table in here for Solana. I've been expecting it to fall down, but it's actually held up really well. And I'm definitely less confident on it falling back down further now. But one thing you can see is that it has gotten through the moving averages at this point. And this move right here, it doesn't break anything. The one time it got through the 200, it lost it the next day. It's now spent a week above here. And this move was just fine. So I definitely would have expected a further pullback to happen, at least in here. I mean, it's close. Like I would have expected like 15. Where did it get to? 1608. Pretty darn close, but still not where I would have thought it would have gotten to. So I would say it's not crystal clear, but I would say it's like more optimistic for a push up. And again, even in this structure right here, if like you pretend this is Ethereum, this is not the structure of what goes shooting off into a bull run. Just so we're kind of clear on that. Like, let's pretend Solana is going to take over the world and it is going to be going into a bull run. Like, let's pretend Solana, like we're just pretending. This is not what we're saying is happening. Let's pretend Solana is going to $1,000. We just pretend, right? Well, what can we use that has done something like this before? Really, the best reference is Ethereum from back in 2019. It was really the best example of it. It puts you somewhere in here, right? for Solana. And that even a move up, like you could be hoping for maybe somewhere in there, maybe in those 40s or 50s. But that, it still has some work that it would have to do in here. How long that is. And so don't be fooled to think that my expectations are that Solana is going into some big bull run anytime soon at all. But that my thoughts were this was the bottom. So those were my thoughts on Solana. So thank you, Moon Daniel Bartoli. Daniela. Moon Daniela Bartoli. Or is it Danielle A? Okay. Thank you very much. Janice, thank you. What is your opinion on 0x and the lawsuit on Dash? Move with the market. 0x move with the market. Dash, man, this SEC stuff, it's a wild card, right? Like, and you're most of the participants in this market have not been under the experience of what it's like dealing with the SEC, but the XRP community has, and it can be a nightmare. I'm not a huge fan on spending time with assets that are dealing with that. The thing is, like, it's not like the SEC has sued anybody with Dash or anything like that. They're just playing dirty tricks, right? They're going after one company. They're hoping that company will cave and settle, and that will be official documentation to say, see, we have already just said that Dash is a security, even though nobody got to defend it. It's in public record. It's a settled case. It's a case study, right? So they've got a case. It's all good. It's been settled. You're good to go. But in that case, Dash was a security. And that's really what he got hammered on yesterday. Gary Gensler got hammered on that on something called Ethereum Max, which is what Kim Kardashian had been promoting. And that they sued Kim Kardashian, but they never sued anybody from Ethereum Max. And so he was asked, well, so is Ethereum Max a security? And then he said, I don't remember what he said, but eventually he says, well, then why is it still publicly traded? Why can people still buy and sell it? And he's typical Gary going off and doing whatever he's saying. Who knows? Speaking goober gobber. And his statement was, we provided clarity to the market by suing Kim Kardashian. And that case was settled. And in that case, we have stated that Ethereum Max is a security, but that they didn't go after anybody else. So the question is, will other exchanges like delist Dash? I don't know. Has Coinbase delisted it? No. So I don't, it's hard, man. When you're dealing with this SEC stuff, it's a personal opinion on what people want to do with that stuff, man. It's hard. And I just come from the personal experience of being in XRP for 2.5 years dealing with an SEC lawsuit, and it's not fun, man. Or, man, Janice, sorry. Ma'am. I hope, ma'am. I don't know. I can't tell by your picture. It's so small. Let me get real close. I don't know. It's so blurry. I can't tell. But Janice sounds like a lovely lady's name. But maybe it's not in another side of the world. I don't know. But yeah. So I don't know. Personal opinion. Anybody's call on that one. But thank you, Janice. Andy Philpott. Happy Wednesday, my dude. Thanks for all the content. Thank you, Andy. Amarin Jeffrey, thank you very much. Says, check out the Bitcoin fractal from 5/11/2022. That would be this, right? Okay, we're talking here. 5/11/2022 to present on the 4-hour time frame. Mirror it, shrink it down to size, and place it on Monday, March 14th. Oh boy, I don't know if I could do all this. I have to mirror it, I have to flip it upside down. Right, I'm not supposed to start way up there, right? I'm supposed to start here. Where am I? Check up from 511 present on a 4-hour time frame. Mirror it, shrink it down to size, and place it on Monday, March 14th. Is that this one? No. Okay, yeah, I'm kind of here. 1 hour. Some of those reversal fractal you showed. Am I looking at this? Okay, so that's exactly what I've been saying here. So that's what a reversal fractal does look like, right? So that's exactly what this tweet is. Zoom in on it. This right in here, right? So that's what reversals do look like for these things, and that's been my thought process in here. So this is technically what? This is a short squeeze, and what I was presenting in all of this. So yeah, you've kind of discovered, right? That's the same thing. It is the same thing. You've shrunk it down. There you go. I think I've got what you were saying, right? I hope I did. Thank you, Amron Jeffrey. Finger Money, thank you very much. Says, hey, BCB, longtime lurker, thank you for all that you do. Question, if you run a fib retracement on the market cap of XRP, do you still get the same price range as you do when a fib retracement on price? Likely not. You're likely going to get a different number. So let's do it. So let's we'll do it here. Do XRP market cap. Okay. And then I've lost my XRP. And I'll address what his question is a little bit clearer here in a second. And we'll get all of this junk that I did off the screen. Of course, I drew a bunch of little dots, but I can't delete everything because I still need to keep this other thing that I have. All right, that's good enough. We'll leave those there. Okay. I guess we don't need this. I'm just going to shift that over there and get it out of sight, out of mind for a minute. The question is, from Finger Money, if you run a fib retracement on the market cap of XRP, so we're just going to pick this particular level instead. I don't know if you're actually referring to previous all-time high from back in 2018. I don't know if you're talking about that one, but we'll just use this one for example. Question is, if you run a fib retracement on the market cap of XRP, do you get the same price range as when you do a fib retracement on price, right? So do we get the exact same level as if we do it over here on the price chart, right? So this is the price chart. We're all familiar with it. You see 49.8 cents over here. But here is the market cap, which we're at 25.799 billion. So let's just pick one particular price as an example. We'll just say the 702 retracement. We're just using this as our example and to say how far away are we from price at this exact, or how far are we away from that particular price level on the market cap. And you could see that we're actually, I may have to tighten this up later, but there we go. 160% away when it comes to the market cap. But how far away are we over here on the price chart? Do you think we're further away from there, or do you think we're closer on the price chart? Do you think it's 160% to get here or not? Do you think it's going to be more than 160% to get up here, or do you think it's less than 160%? My guess is it's going to be more than 160% to get back to the exact same level on the actual price chart. So let's go. Here we go. There's 160, 70, 80, 90 is 194% to get back to the exact same level. So why is that? why is it only 160% away for the market cap, but 194% for the actual price chart? And that's because of inflation over the course of 2 years, right? What do we have? Like a 7% inflation rate for XRP every year. So this has now been 2 whole years. So add in the inflationary rate. It only takes 160% to get back to the retracement level, whereas it takes 194% for the actual price chart to get back there. So what does that tell you? If let's say XRP shoots up in a straight line from right here, right? And it happens quickly, it happens in less than 30 days or something, and we go straight back to the 702 retracement. We watched a lot of the market react to market caps last time around, right? So if we focus on that, does that mean that XRP gets right back to that same level? No, it doesn't. It means we need to only go up 160%, which means the concerning level is actually right here. Rather than being all the way up here to $1.47, it's actually down here at $1.29 for equivalent percentage move. And that would be if it was in a short time frame, right? If it takes several months to go out, then we know that it's going to be less and less and less. That's why XRP's inflation rate at 6% is okay. But when you have things like ALTCOIN, where the inflation rate's over 100% per year, massive problems. And that's the same situation that we were seeing with Algorand. I think Algorand had that problem for a while. I think they've cured theirs too. But what was the other one? Casper, right? Casper has cured it. They're at under 10% now. They're at about 8 or 9 or 10% or something, which is still more than XRP's inflationary rate. But Casper was in that same boat with that massive inflationary rate, which is why in this past week we've seen the Casper market cap hit the previous all-time high. I think it's like one of the first ones to do it, right? CSPR. Casper market cap. Check it out. All the way back to the previous all-time high. Very impressive, right? That is some serious strength in this asset. That's incredible to see. That the network effect of Casper is great. The biggest problem was Casper had an out-of-control inflationary rate for so long that the same place, the same price area is still super far away. That same all-time high we're looking at Casper hitting at on the market cap's way back over here. And Casper's price is 76% below. You flip between the two and kind of just see this is what the market cap of Casper looks like. It's way up here, but the price is not even back through the 0.236 retracement level. As you can see. So inflation is important. And for XRP, those will be things I'll be paying attention to, and I'll definitely be talking about when the time gets there as we get closer on that stuff. There you go. Thank you so much. Finger Money. Hope I answered your question. And thank you. That was your first super chat. I appreciate it. Consumer to Blockchain Solutions. Thank you so much. Good morning, BCB. I've been a fan since your 22-cent XRP calls in 2020. Oh boy, that was a long time ago. You've taught me so much more over the years and look forward to meeting you at Consensus. You're a real protector and hero for the retail investor. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm hoping to meet some people at Consensus. Fun thing, I'm going there with no plan. I'm going there with the intention of immersing myself into the crypto world. When we were getting to the all-time high of crypto in 2021, the message of crypto started to really get confusing to me at that time. It was making a lot of sense to me in 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. But once we got to 2021 and the laser eyes and the diamond hands came in, you saw stuff like Luna and you saw these stable coins going, the messaging of what crypto was got very confusing to me. It started not making a whole lot of sense. And at the same time dealing with the SEC lawsuit and Ripple and XRP and all that stuff. I'm using this as an opportunity to see for my own eyes everything that's going on, to not live in my own little bubble that I'm in, and to go see it all with my eyes, sniff out what is totally BS and what is real. And I think this is going to be a really important thing for me. I have no meetings with anybody. I have nothing with anybody. I'm going there and just going to let the world take me by the hand and take me where it goes for a few days. And so we'll see what's going on in crypto. Thank you, Consumer to Blockchain Solutions. And that was your first time. Thank you very much. All right, Whiskey 2, supporter of the channel. Have I seen Oscar today? Oscar. No. Okay, maybe he came in late. It is Wednesday. Like the video. It's easy. 1 click tops. You can either click like 1 time or you can click it 3 times. Just don't click it 2 times. But if you're going to click it 2, click it 3. And on that note, let's have a little fun. I know it's Wednesday. We all wait for it. Wait, do I do regular speed or do I do both? We'll do regular. We'll just do. It is Wednesday, my dude. It feels weird to hear that normal. It feels real weird.
It is Wednesday, my It is Wednesday,
I can say I think I do like it way more on the 1.5x speed. I think it's way better. But either way, I love it either way. It's always so funny. There's people who tune in here. I always lose like 100 viewers whenever we play it. They're like, what is this nonsense? You imagine somebody opening a door, peeking their head, and like, oh my God, and they leave. All right. Thank you, Whiskey. And then Whiskey again. Gifted 5 blockchain backer memberships. Jeez, man. Thank you. Whiskey 2 is a huge supporter of the channel here every day. Thank you. Denny. If XRP and XLM repeat 2018 move the exact measures, what price would it reach? Thank you for what you're doing. If XRP really did exactly what all of 2017 was, it'd go to like $100. If it repeated like the first leg, I can't remember. Is it $27? I don't know. Here, I have it right here. Let's just do that right there. If it did the exact repeat of that leg, that's $27. But again, I'm not calling for that. But that's that answers your question. As for Stellar Lumens, I'm not really quite sure. I don't know why Stellar Lumens would do that. Again, Stellar Lumens, I fully believe, is 100% one of those coins that is only owned by XRP community people, and that there is no Stellar Lumens community. It is just another coin by Jeb McCaleb that is promoted to XRP people. So, I don't know. Stellar Lumens was interesting because it actually hit its all-time high in 2021. But we'll see. Thank you, Denny. Jake, hey BCB, longtime listener, first-time frogger. Was curious to know if you've ever had issues with the IRS and been audited over your capital gain sales before. Sorry if the question is too personal. Oh, no, it's totally fine. Nope, I've never been audited. I do treat my stuff serious. And I know that's a thing. I know a lot of people do not in crypto. But fortunately, I have a relationship with an accountant, and she goes through all of my stuff. And we put everything. So I've never had a problem. I think the worst thing that has happened was that on my taxes last year, so for 2021 when I filed them, I overpaid by about $1,200 on my taxes. And they sent me a refund check, but they penalized me $1,100 for overpaying. And so I only got $100 back of that $1,200 that I overpaid. That was the ultimate. Are you kidding me, man? That was the worst. But no, otherwise, I've been okay. Yeah, that is a true story. But yeah, so I don't know anybody personally who's had problems over it, but I'm the type of person who doesn't take the risk. I give the IRS their money. But I'm telling you, I absolutely log all my losses. They're not just getting me on my victories. If I'm taking any losses, I'm putting that down. I'll carry stuff over. It doesn't matter. So, if there's a really bad year, right, I'm still going to report that stuff to carry over any losses to the next year. So that way, when I report victories the next year, I can drop that down from carried over losses. So. All right, Jake. Thank you. And that was your first time. Thank you. Oscar, there he is. Okay. And yeah, he was there 23 minutes ago. Wish I was 100% in live. I'm on the rig for a critical operation. I have you in my ear. Great morning, everybody. All right. So imagine this. There's a guy on an oil rig right now. He's got a helmet on. He's like got his green vest on or whatever. He's hanging on ropes. He's like rappelling down the side of a rig. Got a wrench. He's like, yeah, we're going to fix this thing right now. And he's like, BCB. He's hanging over the ocean right now. He's looking down. There's waves like 50 feet below him. And he's listening to the BCB right now. And then he's just like, you know what, man? I really need some really, really, really good jams right now because this is a little bit sketchy. And I'd rather be anywhere in the world. But it's okay, my dude.
It is Wednesday, my
Now, as he tries to perform this critical operation, he is sitting there screaming, "It's Wednesday, my dude," on 1.5x, and then his boss cans him. Sorry about that, man. All right. Thank you, Oscar. Gator, what's up, dude? You're here every day, too, my man. BCB, your latest Substack post left me wanting more. It just hits different, and it's worth every cent, brother. Also, when's the day, and when BCB merch? When? At some point, I just can't keep doing this whole, yeah, we'll see about the merch. Thank you for the Substack. What do you call that? A recommendation, right? What do you call that? What's it when somebody says something nice about like a service that you offer? Review? Testimonial. That's the word I'm looking for. Testimonial. Thank you. When BCB merch? When? I don't know. I'll talk to my wife about it. Like, can you help me? I have so much going on, man. This is still a one-man show. It's a lot. Thank you, Gator. Eden Siddick says, "Hey, BC backer, is it worth staying in Dash? Thanks for all the good work." That's a personal call right there. You know what happened with the SEC and Algo. They called Dash and Algo securities. Will that hold true? Is that going to remain through through anything more? Will there be anything more of that? I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of 2.5 years of I've just had enough of dealing with the SEC. So I think that's a personal opinion. I think either decision is fine. I don't have the energy anymore to mess around with the SEC. I'm sick of it. Personal decision. BCB, can you go through the Ethereum Classic chart? Well, Ethereum Classic, for me personally, I'm kind of waiting for a retracement, which is about $100, 115. And I think that would happen with the rest of the market. And then beyond that, maybe I'll let a little bit ride to see if it breaks out into new all-time highs. But for me, Ethereum Classic, it's a lot about retracements at this point, which is about 115. I'll do it very quickly. There's 100, there's 110, 13, 14, 15. eventually. And this is an asset that moves up with the rest of the market. I've been called a dingus for a lot of things. One of them was definitely this one. When I got this one, it was with the same ideas as EOS. It was with the same ideas as Bitcoin Cash. Ethereum Classic gave it to us, but the others did not. That was a giant move there for Ethereum Classic. I'm gonna take it off of here. We just didn't get that everywhere, but we definitely got it on this one. And why would we choose this one? And it was the same concept of just kind of regulatory clarity, or at least not as much of a fog over Ethereum Classic. And I think we just noticed that too, with Ripple making an announcement about their liquidity hub without XRP being in it. However, what was included in it? Random Ethereum Classic, right? And that was because I'd done research on just what was available everywhere, right? You could get Ethereum Classic at Robinhood. You could get it at like PayPal. You can get it on every single exchange. There was just kind of more regulatory kind of certainty, and it's hard to say anything with certainty at this point because Gary's pretty much said everything is a security except for Bitcoin. But there wasn't as much of a fog over Ethereum Classic as a lot of other things. And that same concept was true for Bitcoin Cash, not as much of a fog over Bitcoin Cash, because really, and I was there when the fork happened. It happened in the late summer of 2017, where Bitcoin Cash forked off of Bitcoin. Right? I'm trying to think. Was it just called Bitcoin Cash at the time? And I'm trying to remember Bitcoin. Remember there's Bitcoin Cash ABC and then Bitcoin Cash SV. And then eventually Bitcoin Cash got the ABC branding removed. But Bitcoin SV still has the Bitcoin Cash SV still has the Bitcoin Cash SV. What a weird thing, right? You fork off of one and then you fork off of another. So anyway, yeah. So we'll see. For me, it's just about retracements for Ethereum Classic. And if it gets more, if it starts signaling more later, that's fine. But, for me, on a lot of these things that had big runs, the first thing I'm looking for is retracement levels. All right. But thank you, Imran Mod. That's your first time. Thank you very much. Nighthawk 101. Thank you. Inverse Bitcoin versus Bitcoin Inverse Bitcoin versus Bitcoin top fractal. Let's break and retrace. So I think he's talking about what the tweet was that I put out there this morning. This one right in here. Not sure what you mean by break and retrace, but my thoughts have still been with what we were talking about for potentially heading down to 24,000, 25,000. But we'll see, man. This thing has been real difficult up in here, and so far, nothing crazy has happened in here. If I could still just give my best guess on what I'm seeing on the broader picture, it's just that there's a move down to here, and then we kind of go like that for the remainder of the summer, and then can finally start rocking and rolling. But for bigger time frames, I think it's all very clear. I want to keep it very crystal clear that I think I've been thinking the bottom is in ever since June of last year. We've been going through this. It's been a nightmare going through it with everybody screaming the bottom is not in, following meme accounts on Twitter who are telling them it's going to 12K. Broader, we see the stochastic RSI pointing to the upside. You see that has happened, and you see that has happened. Broader, bigger trend, broader, bigger behavior of Bitcoin is, at least for now, a reversal is in at this point. We've seen it before. Just because a reversal is in does not mean it goes straight into bull run, right? It just means a strong bounce off of the lows. That is still bigger perspective, strong bounce off of lows. And what we're doing now is we're sitting here nitpicking what are we going to do on smaller time frames in here, but the overall trend still being up, but how is it going to look to get into that up? That's the challenge we're trying to go with right now. So these are the harder things to pick out right in here, because you're going to get a whole lot more mixed, sloppy action in the actual indicators on these smaller time frames. And so you really just kind of reference to past points, and the past points have lots of different variables on how they could play out. So I've made my best guess, and we'll see if that one ends up being right. Chris Long. But thank you. Nighthawk01, that was your first time. Appreciate it, man. Chris Long, 702. What day is it, my dude? It is Wednesday, my dude. Thank you, Chris. D-Bro. Would you agree that if XRP goes up now, it won't go as high and as quickly than if it consolidated one last time? Would I agree? I don't know if I'd necessarily agree. I'd say I'd have to try to figure out what is going on the charts to see if I have anything else to lean back on. In the end, my thoughts would still be like, so, okay, well, how about this argument, right? We were just talking about this. How many people are thinking, well, because we're doing it like this. Let me get it again because we've lost it. No, that's not what I want. Get out of here. Okay. My thoughts are not $27, right? My thoughts are like 10, 11 bucks, right? But this thing takes you to whatever. Oh, it's because I'm on this chart. That's why. Yeah, a live dingus moment just happened. There we go. Okay. Right? If you played out just like that, right? Where would you go? You'd go to $27, right? So does that mean that's what's going to happen? No, because my thoughts are we're not going that high. My thoughts are like 10 bucks, right? 10, 11 bucks. So if this plays out a little differently, does it mean it won't go as high as the 27? Maybe. But I think that question is so broad, and then you're asking me to agree. Would you agree that if XRP goes up now, it won't go as high and as quickly? So as quickly is a when time question. I don't have an answer to when time. I have absolutely no clue if price will move at this velocity or if it'll move at this velocity, where this takes 2 years to play out. I'm not predicting time on this, on velocity of rise. We can try to guess on time on here just based on how this has all played out in here, and that this has moved relatively slow. But even now we're starting to see things are starting to kind of deviate a little bit in here right now. But if it rises from here, I don't know if you could really throw everything out. It could just have a higher consolidation range and then go. But still, even to this point right here, I don't agree with this. I don't agree with $27. So I think that kind of negates maybe some of the question already, that I don't think that's where we're heading. If we go there, that's great. You guys can all make fun of me for selling 65% of my bag right here. Oh, it doesn't stick. Selling 65% of it right there, and then the price still goes up another. Oh, that's a little low. Right there. And then price goes up another 100%, right? 200%. You guys are welcome to make fun of me. Call me a dingus. That's cool. You don't know anything. But I'm not betting on that. So yeah, whatever. I don't know. It's theoretical. I get these kind of theoretical questions a lot. It's hard to know, man. Let's get in the situation, and then we'll see what my thoughts are at the time. I get asked that a lot every single time. I get asked. I get asked here, right? What happens if we go down here? What's going to be your thoughts? I don't know. We got to see what happens if it does. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see if it does. What happens if we get up here and we break out and we keep going? I don't know. I'll see what I think when we get there if it happens, but I don't think it's going to. So we can keep talking about all the different types of things that could happen. Let's see what happens. Let's see what volumes look like. Let's see what structure looks like and assess it at the time. But trying to come up every hypothetical situation on what happens if it goes in 2 days and it breaks out. What happens if it takes 17 days to break out? But what if it breaks down here and this takes 43 days? Or what if it happens in 1 day? The market will shock you and change things all the time, but we just kind of have to wait and see. Still, this is my thought process. We're going to come down here. The most likely thing that will happen and what we will see all over Twitter, so mark my words, if we do end up getting it, the low alpha information will all be pointing to this trend line right here. Historically, diagonal trend lines will get broken. Oh my gosh, gloom and doom. This was a bear flag. This was a bear pennant the whole time. All right. But thank you, D-Bro. And that was your first time. Thank you. Janice, again, Janice is a male name. English pronunciation is different than the word should sound in EU. See, okay, I was looking at the picture, and that you looked like a guy. Let me see. Let me do this. Can I copy that?
Janice.
Oh, no, I don't want that. Janice. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Sick thinker. Sorry. Okay, but now I know, right? I don't want to say ma'am. Thank you, sir. Sick thinker, new member. Thank you very much. Welcome. XRP923, Sologenic market cap chart. Going to zero is my thought. I don't believe in Sologenic. Nobody uses Sologenic. I think there's paid shills for Sologenic. Okay, and sometimes I do it on purpose, Callum. I actually have some of the original animated cells hanging on the wall. Back when they used to make cartoons, they'd paint them on these cells, and then they'd flip them and take shots and take shots and take shots of them. He says, BCB, has everybody told you that your voice is identical to Butthead's voice from Beavis and Butthead? Sometimes I intentionally do it. There will be times I'm just hanging out in my car and be like, cool. Yeah. That was a favorite show of mine when I was a child. We lived in North Carolina, and we had a basement, and down in that basement we had a TV, and on the upstairs TV, I don't know how it happened, but my mom had the ability to like block channels and stuff, and she had blocked MTV, and Beavis and Butthead was absolutely something I could not watch as a child. I was allowed to watch The Simpsons, but not allowed to watch Beavis and Butthead. But I had realized that there was, for some reason, on the TV in the basement, I could get MTV. And I would sneak down into the basement at like 11 o'clock at night, put the volume of the TV, and this is a TV that had the little clicker turn dial on it, right? And on the front, many of you might not know that. We didn't have iPhones then. It was a crazy time. Everything was dial-up internet, 28 point K. I would put the TV on a 1, and I would get my head right up near the TV and listen to Beavis and Butthead back then. I was totally not allowed to watch it, but I loved it. Then when I became like an older teenager, like 17, 18, my mom just kind of gave up allowing me to watch whatever I wanted. But yeah, that's intentional. And I haven't watched the show in years, but I've kind of always carried it with me. But XRP923, that's your question. I don't like any of the Sologenic assets. There's Hologenic Coin, Corium, any of that stuff. Because I've watched the burn happen. I've watched, hey, hold XRP and be a part of this and get an airdrop. And those airdrops tank every single time. Then you got creators who are like perceived to be promoting it, but I don't see disclosures of them saying that they're promoting it. I'm very, and if you've I can tell there's, so the Sologenic people should get back on and do a Twitter Spaces again and let people come up and talk to them, because I saw them do it one time when the XLS20 amendment went live. It was a circus, what it was like. The questions they were getting asked, their inability to answer any questions, their defensiveness of the Sologenic CEO and the Sologenic team, and the aggressiveness and the attacking that their team did on the community. I am not surprised. I've never seen them do a Twitter Spaces ever again. It was like the most unprofessional thing I've ever seen in my life, and I officially knew my opinion of Sologenic after that particular moment in time. And I already had a bad feeling watching. They were like, "Hey, airdrop for XRP holders." Then right before the snap, the price tanks 95% of SoloGenic token. They've just massively distributed it, right, and sell the heck out of it before any XRP holders ever get their token. Then here they are doing it again with Corium. I'm not a fan, man, and I don't know a single collection that has minted on SoloGenic and with any meaningful success. So maybe there's people sitting there day trading the SoloGenic token. I don't know why. Nobody's using SoloGenic that I know, and I've gotten, you guys know it. I put out videos. I talked to a lot of the XRP NFT stuff and collections. Not one at launch went to SoloGenic. And I haven't seen success at SoloGenic either. So XRP 923, don't know. And I'll just answer it and say, not confident in that at all on Solo. Who knows? Maybe we'll see them blow up and they'll be successful and they can change my mind. I've seen nothing of the sort yet. I only see the continued behavior of another airdrop token that crashed on itself once again by the same people. Oscar Hernandez, and that is Corium, right? Oscar Hernandez. And I think they're also paying influencers and it's not being disclosed, but I don't know that. That's speculation, not an accusation. Speculation. There's a few influencers who have been promoting Corium. Maybe they have disclosed that they've been paid, but I don't know if they have or have not. Oscar Hernandez. I sent a super chat already explaining where I am. Heard my name on my earbud. Yeah, so I'm just catching up, right? So I'm really far behind, it appears. No, I'm catching up. I'm really close now. PSI Clown. BCB, I love your analysis and mindset. How about a trading view dark mode on frog days? No, never. I won't cave on that. But I have grown my entire channel on bright mode, on blast white mode, where you're laying in bed. It's 9 o'clock at night. Your brain is supposed to be shutting off and drifting to sleep to the ASMR, autonomous sensory meridian response of the blockchain backer's soothing voice, but your eyes are being blasted with white and you just can't fall asleep till 3 o'clock in the morning. That is how I have grown my entire channel. And I've never done the dark mode. So watch if I flip to dark mode, my subscribers double. And it's like, oh, that was the problem the whole time. But not today. Thank you, though. Thank you, Mark. JB, heavy equipment. Hey, what's going on? I'm listening to you on 1.5x to catch up. When you're playing frogs at 1.5x, that's great. Thanks for all you do, BCB. Yeah, so you're hearing it at like 2.25x. Thanks, JB. Pi, again, with this super chat, thumbs up. Thank you. AE's Garage, what's your thoughts on the overall stock and crypto market in terms of possible crash? Oh, man, I feel like I go through that every day. I feel like that's a long explanation that I don't want to give like a 3-second response to, but I'm also at it an hour and 18 minutes. I think that's a long-winded. That's like a full 30-minute video answer on that. The simple stuff is like we cover at the beginning of every single markets in the morning, where you have gold trying to fight through the all-time high, but it's showing bearish divergences and struggling to get through that all-time high. And then you have the Dow Jones, which appears to have ABC'd, but it's back at the retracement levels. It's trying to fight through that 618 retracement. And it's trying to fight through that 702 retracement, but it hasn't broken out yet. So there is no clear definitive answer on which way things are going to swing at this point. But historically, they both do not go bullish at the same time. They can both fall at the same time, but they do not go bullish at the same time. Gold has definitely been threatening to do it. However, has started to show somewhat of a little bit of weakness over these last couple of weeks. And now that's starting to actually emerge in the price for gold. But the Dow has been moving back to the retracement levels. And now, is it going to get it? And let's see how the Dow is doing as the day is underway. negative 70 points. So a little bit of recovery happening in here, right? So there's your Dow, right? You're back at the retracement levels. And then your gold, 1994, back at your highs. We haven't, should be the warning sign, an alerting warning sign. However, there's definitely a daily bearish divergence emerging over here on gold currently right now, while the Dow is working back to its retracement levels. So no clear answer happening yet. However, if you look at it from the bigger perspective, and if you just guess based off of this, right? If you just guess based off of all of this, that's the end. Right now, back at the retracement levels, doom time. That's what that tells you right there. The problem is we do not have the confirmation of that from like gold. We don't know if we'll get it from gold. But that's a scary level. You have now fallen back below that high over here. We bounced where it should have. And now we're back up here in these retracement levels. So it's alerting, but there has been no answer that has been proven. But while we sit underneath these retracement levels right in here, should be no mistake about my opinion on it. My opinion for all of 2022 is that we would go back to the retracement levels. We are now at them right now. If people haven't made their mind up on whether or not they're going to take the shot, they're going to take the gamble on this thing going higher, or they're going to go ahead and get out and modify their 401ks and all that stuff at this point, you know, this is you do whatever the heck you want. Talk to your financial advisor. This is this is all decision making stuff right in here, and there's a chance we look back on this moment for the next 30 years and say, oh my gosh, that was the time. But we don't have an answer yet, and gold certainly hasn't given it to us quite yet. So we'll see. That is as quick and brief and non-detailed of an answer I can give you. Oscar Hernandez, does the Elliott Waves ABC corrections also work on smaller time frames? Yes. So first of all, it's called Elliott Wave Theory. It is not a hard rule. And you won't notice it in every chart. But yeah, you will have, you know, your grand super cycle, cycles, primaries, intermediates, minors, minutes, all different stuff, way down into smaller stuff. So yes, it does. But having to identify, is there a trend emerging, or are you actually in a ranging context? Do you think you're going to see it on the smaller time frames in something like this? No, unlikely. So you're keeping an eye out for it, but knowing what you're looking for. It's just like with any indicator right in here, right? So like, what would this potentially be, right? This looks like A, B, C. We'll see. Small time frame, right? Why? Because it went back to A702. But yeah, it does. Wednesday and Friday. Oh, Oscar wants it too. Wednesdays and Fridays, darkness. No. Crypto Richner, BCB, once you have said that the Dow Jones took too much time to break down, it's not similar to 1929, so we might see one more leg up, right? So we talked about that, but I won't put confidence on that statement. So let's talk about this. First of all, time doesn't matter to me. But one thing is, when you have a topping structure, typically you have aggressiveness. This is not an aggressive. So you want to see a bubble pop, they're usually going to be more aggressive than this. Unless this is but it's not, because you have to double tap, bull flag, breakout, backtest, V bottom right into the bull flag, right? It's perfect. What you're typically going to see when a top comes in is you'll see the initial fast sell-off that happens relatively quick. Let's look at Tesla. Let's look at any of these, see if we can find them anywhere. Take us off of log. So there's usually a popping that happens in here. Well, let's just look at other cryptos, Ethereum. Oh, look, Ethereum's back above 2 grand. So here's your double tap, bull flag, breakout, backtest, V bottom, right in here, right? Of course, duh, we all know that. Right. Then here's your move up. Then the first initial aggressive fallback. And notice where we head to right down in here. Then we ABC our way back up. Where do you ABC to? You ABC back to a 702 Fibonacci retracement. This is the thing on my radar. This is the thing that should be on everybody's radar currently right now of what is happening with the United States stock market when it comes to the Dow Jones in here. This right in here and everything that has happened. That it has been a 4.236 extension up in here. Here's your double tap. Here's your bull flag breakout backtest V bottom, initial push to the high, and then we have pulled back down in here. Let's put them side by side. Okay. As you can see, here's a double tap, bull flags, breakout, backtest, V bottom, goes into a new high. Then, let's take it off of log. There we go. Maybe look more equivalent here. Take you off of log. Okay. Here we go. We pull back into the bull flags in here, as we can see, the bull flags, and then we break out. I get it. If we were talking about this right now, I'd be like, that's stupid. You're just making that up. One of my NFTs is a silly golden combo guy doing gymnastics with a double tap, bull flag, breakout, backtest, V bottom. This is a normal thing I talk about. I've talked about it since the beginning of my channel. That we double tap on top of the all-time high, produce a bull flag, then we break out. We have a short squeeze followed by a violent backtest with a V bottom. That's normal. We saw that happen over here in 2020 during the C19 sell-off for the stock market. That's where we went to. During the 2022 fall down, we talked about how far it went. We said, hey, look, we have to hold on top of this level for there to be any type of chance of this being a, like, we can count these waves, right? We know we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if there was a chance to say, hey, we're just going to say that this is actually miscounted and that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's fine. However, we needed to hold that level, which we did. We held it for quite some time. June, that was the mark of the Dow's bottom. As you can see, it did have one further dip, but that further dip implied that the count was correct, that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the length, and that we took out that previous high in there. Why does it matter? Let's put this back on log just for more clear visibility in here. We're going to get rid of everything. Is that in a bubble structure? When you do that, it indicates that the top is already in, right? It's already in, the top is already in. Then what do? We go back into retracements, right? Where are we right now? We're back in the retracements. So while it fell down less aggressively, and what you typically see is absolute crashing and crumbling at first, followed by a work back up, we didn't look like that. But every other aspect of this bubble does look like that, right? That's the problem. Here's another problem. Okay, we get it. We're screaming Doomtown. We're screaming it's the end of the world. The Dow Jones is going to pop. How many people make a living off just being constant doomers, man? All the time. That's how they do everything. They completely are just doomers, and that is their brand. Why would this one matter? First of all, if you were here in the C19 sell-off, I wasn't a doomer, man. The doomers were living their best life, selling you everything on it's the end of the world, it's the end of times. Not me, man. Saying we were going to go new all-time highs. You think it's the first time for people to hate me at the bottom of something? You think it's the first time for people to hate me at the top of something? C19 was my first real taste of it and getting to learn what it's like to have the general public hate you. because I was bullish, and the general public said that's irresponsible to be bullish. People are out of work, 20% unemployment. We're getting stimulus packages, and people are afraid they're going to die. You're sitting here talking about Bitcoin going to 60K. I was not worried here. It's not about being a doomer. I just showed this, right? This is the concern here. The bigger concern is when you zoom out on it and say, are we in that particular phase of a cycle where you have 5 waves that are the ending, right? Do you have 5 waves to mark the ending in here? And it's once we zoom out on this, let's put it like this, see if we can see it real clear here. There we can see this is the final 5 waves of a 90-year cycle for the Dow. That would be it. That would be the end. So, just, be cautious out there. I can't tell you what's going to happen with the sky falling or anything like that. I can show you all of this. You have this information, right? You can look to me to be the guy who's going to predict what's going to happen. I'm making my best guess based off the information that is right here in front of the screen. If you haven't discovered this information, here, hit the subscribe button, guys. I'm trying to share this information with you. Take this information and run with it and do whatever you want. But this is why it's more concerning. This is why this moment in time is a little bit more concerning than any of the other ones from the past. This is end of cycle stuff. This is like what we saw for Solana. It comes way down here. We saw for Ethereum. We saw for Netflix. This is the type of stuff that comes way down here, where you see Dow Jones sitting at about 34,000 right now, heads all the way back down into the 4,000s. That's Great Depression. Will it go in a straight line? It doesn't. That's not how this played out. This took like twice as long as this did. So this would be like a long time, right? That was like 20 years. It would be 40 years to get back down there. Who knows the velocity at which it would move down? Somebody's going to quote me. They're going to say, you said it would take 40 years. Nope, I did not. I'm just saying if it went at that velocity, it would take 40 years to get down to the bottom. Is it going to happen like that? I doubt it. But, there you go. You could see all of this. This is a full cycle for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. 90 years. How many years is it? 90, right? 91. Technically, if the top was there in 2022, it was a 91-year cycle. Or 90-year cycle. So good luck out there with your retirement accounts and what the correct decision to do is. Because this is what the front half of bubble. Let's see, is it going to let me do this? This would be cool if it did. Sweet. That's what bubble pops look like. There you go. All right, that's it. That's enough for the Doomtown Dow. Riaz Hey Ratifer says, right, so, okay, it says, hey, BCB, longtime follower, has EOS or Bitcoin Cash or Dash, EOS, Bitcoin Cash, Zcash, or Dash increased or inflated their supply? Which ones do you still have holding? So I addressed this back in June of restructuring my portfolios. I still have a tiny bit of EOS, a tiny bit of Bitcoin Cash, but the majorities of those have been shifted. Dash, still a tiny bit, majority of it gone. And I consolidated a lot of it into Zcash. So the reason why I picked those two is I do my inflationary supply checks on those as well. Those have all had fine inflation rates. So not stuff like Filecoin or Casper, or those things that have had those 100% inflation rates, they all have moderate to normal inflationary rates. So the inflationary rates have never been a concern for me. It's just been other factors in the market. Now that Dash has sat there, so then EOS went silent for a year, gone, and then Dash just got labeled as a security by the Securities and Exchange Commission 2 days ago. So just absolutely lovely time from them. So about Zcash, I have a large bag of Zcash. Crypto Keeper, what would have to happen to invalidate this theory? A break of the new all-time high for the Dow, right? If a new all-time high got broken, then it would be beyond a retracement, right? So the scary thing for Bitcoiners in general should be, so why do I sit there and say there's a chance of Bitcoin not setting a new all-time high, and there's a chance of Bitcoin going to $2,000? And it's because we know every Bitcoin bull run has been marked at these exact moments for the Dow Jones. The 2013 bull run takes place exactly as the Dow Jones is breaking out above the great financial crisis high. The 2017 bull run takes place right in here after the Dow Jones breaks out from a 3-year range consolidation. The 2020 and 2021 bull run, as you can see, here we are, October, November, December, breakout, December. When does Bitcoin break out? December. It all occurs exactly at the moment when the Dow goes into a multi-year range and breaks into a new all-time high. That's exactly when Bitcoin goes. Breaks out into a new all-time high, Bitcoin goes. Breaks out into this high, Bitcoin goes. If this is the case for the Dow, if this is the case, then what's going to happen with Bitcoin? That's the problem. That's the problem. People think I'm just a fudder. I'm not a fudder, man. I'm just giving the data. You see what's going on with the Dow Jones. You definitely, if you have just put your hands over your eyes, put your fingers in your ears and go la 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 la, and the block reward halving versus Dow Jones theory, if you are just completely blocking it out and saying I choose to believe magic than choosing to believe data, you're not using data to do this. So yeah, I don't know. I don't want to turn the end of this thing into a doomer thing. But this is the problem. This is the big problem for the stock market right now. This is a big problem for Bitcoin for the long term, right? And so why do I keep saying retracements? Because and then somebody said on Twitter, what did they say to me today? I replied to them too. I posted that inverse chart of Bitcoin, and he says, this means that when you reverse the recent Bitcoin bottom and compare it to the Bitcoin top, there are similar structures. This suggests that Bitcoin is about to continue to rise and disappoint bears. What I'm curious about is if blockchain backers are starting to believe that Bitcoin could retest all-time highs. I immediately responded and said, no, I still believe this is just a retrace. The only way I will start considering a new all-time high for Bitcoin is if the Dow Jones sets a new all-time high, which is voodoo, witch, dark magic to talk about rather than the block reward halving. But the Dow Jones Industrial Average new all-time high is mandatory for any Bitcoin all-time high. And it's absolute throughout all of Bitcoin's history. The breakout of Bitcoin into a bull run has occurred exactly as the Dow has. So if you're not going to get that on the Dow, how are you going to get it on Bitcoin? Blockchain backer, don't you know? Magic, block rewards. Okay, well, if you think it's block rewards, then you should be the biggest bull on Ethereum in the history of all time. Because that just means that it's just going to reduce the inflationary rate of Bitcoin, right? What is Bitcoin's current inflationary rate? 1.75%? Bitcoin current inflation rate. 1.8%. So it's going to get cut down to 0.9% during the next halving, right? If it gets cut, so what is Ethereum's? Ethereum sound buddy. Ethereum's current inflation rate is deflationary supply at negative 0.55%. So if you believe in the magic of block reward halvings, and the only thing that matters is block reward halvings and none of this, then you should be the biggest bull on Ethereum and saying, forget Bitcoin. You should be magic unicorn, magic stories of Ethereum. Let's see, can I do it? There we go. Can I do this too? Oh yeah, I was replaying. Okay. There we go. So anyway. So what would have to happen to invalidate this theory? You need to get a new all-time high for the Dow to even start considering it. And then even if you do, right? And so this is the thing we talked about at the time, and then market sentiment completely shifts because enough time has elapsed. At this time right here, everybody was saying you're an idiot. It's not going to go back up. Don't you understand? Don't fight the Fed, blah, blah, blah. It goes back up. Now everybody's stuck. Now they're like, well, what do I do now? Yet the decision was here. The time to make decisions on if you're going to ride this up was here. Now the decision is no decision for me in particular. That's why every morning I come on here, I say we're fighting this situation right in here with gold. We're fighting this situation over here with the Dow as it's back at these retracement levels. This is a period of indecision in the market, and a trend has to emerge. But even as you can see very clearly here, we're looking at the monthly time frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months of stuck at retracement levels. It's not coincidence. It's not. It's. I always talk about it. If I was only allowed to have one indicator, and I'm not allowed to have any other indicators at all, I'd have to keep the Fibonacci retracements. There's just no questions. Goodbye moving averages. Goodbye relative strength index, stock RSI, MACD, Bollinger Bands, trend lines, everything. If I can only have the fibs, then I can only have the fibs, and that's it. And you can clearly see here how you get back to these fibs. Even when you go at massive aggression, it stops, right? And we've been stuck here for 6 months right now, and the market has not dished out a decision on whether it can get through here. And not only that, it's even giving more confusing signals here for the Dow, because instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 continuing to break down from here, it now suddenly starts to look like an ABC. A, B, C. And when have we seen ABC happen like this before in a situation like this? We saw it right here. A, B, C for Bitcoin right in here. What does it do? It goes on and sets a new all-time high. Why is that significant that it went on and set a new all-time new all-time high right here for Bitcoin? Because this is what it needed to do in order to hit the 4.236 extension over here. On the market cap. The only way it was going to get that is by ABCing right here to get one more push to finally hit that market, to hit that 4.236 extension and fall. Why is that significant also over here on the Dow, as the Dow is starting to make this like ABC thing happening in here, and the confusion it adds to it all is that that's what the Dow is doing too. The Dow, and let's just do this. The Dow is short of a 4.236 extension, making something similar to an ABC. And this is, where are you? Here you go. Right? As you know, we fall ABC and then it goes off and hits it. Is that what's in the cards here for the Dow? So you have such a terrible situation for late entrants in the market that there doesn't seem to be, and like I said, I've talked about this when we were down here. We're going to get back to these retracement levels, and then it's going to be problems for everybody, because they're going to not know what to do. They're going to want to long the market. And if you do long the market, where are you going to do it at? You sold the bottom. It violently shoots back up. Now you've been left behind. Then, you think to yourself, oh, it's okay. They bought this dip. No way they didn't buy this dip. They just had the banking crisis scare. They got shook. They bought back in here and then they got shooken out again a second time and it comes right back up. So now they're in this situation. What do I do in here? There's nothing to do. The market has to kind of decide. And it's stuck underneath all the retracement levels in here. If it does break through this one, what are you going to do about that one? Then what are you going to do about the all-time high? And then if it does get through the all-time high, congrats. Does it mean we're going to the moon? Does it mean that the Dow is going to surge and fly and go really, really, really high because it breaks into the all-time high? Technically speaking, no. Because the 4.236 extension is only 6% away, which is the same thing that I was arguing for Bitcoin back in here, that we would set a new all-time high, but just barely. And it was only 5 or 6% away. The exact same scenario as that. So it's a lot of mixed things that are happening in here for the Dow. And I think it's a pivotal moment in history and in time, regardless of that. Regardless if it's rolling over at a retrace right now or if it's going to go hit this 4.236. I think the best scenario for all of us for crypto is this one. This would be the best case scenario. This is the one I'm cheering for. But I have no way to say that is going to happen with this situation happening right here. But if I'm ever going to entertain the idea that Bitcoin could even hit a new all-time high, you have to see a new all-time high in Dow. Mandatory. So there you go. CryptKeeper, that was a long answer, bro. I got to move on. I need to turn things more positive. I don't want to end my stream talking about the gloom town stuff. Oscar Hernandez, what are your top 10 low inflammatory coins? You probably meant inflationary, or you're being silly and saying inflammatory. Unless I said inflammatory earlier and you're making fun of me. That's even possible too. I don't know off the top of my head. I really don't. I'd have to look into it. Sorry, bro. And then Oscar, I said the community is asking about HBAR. Not sure what you guys want to know about HBAR. I don't know why I was running this math on here. Maybe I was looking at market cap. Did HBAR had a inflationary problem too at one point, right? Right. So let's see the velocity of movement, and it seems to have gotten a little bit more. Like you can see that it's been moving kind of at this rate. And then you got to ignore this thing right here. This was just an API issue, but we can see that there's been like this velocity change right in here from that moment to that moment. Is there an increase? Was there like a, it's possible it was just one of these though, right? You got to pay attention to these vesting schedules to see when the founders end up getting paid and there's a big unlock. So there is going to be a big unlock in Flare. So you guys are aware. I think it's at 18 months. It might be at 12 months where a huge unlock will happen to Hugo and all the buddies there. I personally will not be holding Flare into that moment. I will be gone before, and I don't have much, right? I got nothing. If 100x is from here, it's not going to change my life. And I don't think it's going to 100x because of the inflationary problems it has. But I will sell that before Hugo and company get their huge distribution to them. Let's see what this inflationary rate was here. 69% in, we'll just do 2022. 37%. So it's a little high. Let's look at HBAR market cap. Okay, yeah, so this was something I think we talked about. Okay, so this is why their supply dynamics of HBAR are another problem. Like you see over there with Casper, like we saw with Algo. These are all coins that were really promoted to the XRP community, but they all have these same problems. So if you look at Hedera, right? Here is this low down in here on the market cap. This low is back here in July of 2021. Remember, this is where Bitcoin is back at 30K. You got Jack Dorsey, Elon Musk, and Cathie Wood doing a Zoom call, and the price bounces off the lows right there. That's where Hedera was right here, July of 2021. As we can see, it falls, it goes slightly below, but we can see that the price currently for Hedera, or the market cap of Hedera, is actually 42% above that time period back then, right? 42% above that July low. That's where the market cap is right now. But we look over here at the token price, and we see that the token price sits way below. Why? Like, the token price is supposed to be 42% higher than the July low. However, it is sitting 59% below that. Not only that, it is sitting 71% below where it should be due to its market cap. I'll give it, hey, a couple percent points off like we saw over there with XRP due to, 5-6% in a year. But it's these higher inflationary rate coins that massively impact it, that you can have something like Casper go back to its all-time high on its market cap, but the inflation of the tokens has made it so it hasn't even gotten through its first retracement level. Here you are with another one like Hedera, where the inflation has caused a situation where the market, the network itself, the network in general still has all this value. It's held this, it's above July of 2021 in regards to network value and market cap, but the token has been diluted so much, it is significantly below here. So that's kind of the problem. Maybe that's that measurement that I was taking in there. Which way is it to the upside to catch up to what that market cap would be? I think that looks about right of what I was doing. So that was the problem. So, taking it into account, it's probably going to have to be a lot of applying, what's going on with the market cap versus the price charts. And that's not a tried and true method, but it's what we saw happen there in 2021 with a lot of these assets, was that paying attention to the market cap was the important thing, like with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ethereum Classic. So having to make those conversions and figure that out is going to probably be important. But as for the price chart of Hedera, I like it. As for like a massive move off the lows, that's fantastic. This is the exact level I would have wanted it to pull back to. And I did add to my Hedera bags in the last week or so in here. Maybe it was here. I don't know. When was it? What is it? It was March. Maybe it was here. I don't know. In this dip, I liked the pullback. That's the pullback I would have wanted it to pull back to. I think it could waddle in here for a long time. But eventually, looking for that. I think it's good. But I'll be paying attention to market cap in here. You got to ignore this. Again, this is an API issue. But that, if I'll watch what the rest of the market is doing, but my targets will be based on market cap. And so this is another one of these things, right? That, let's say you go for full 4.236 extension based on the previous all-time high of the market cap. That's only 1,259% away. Does that give you a new all-time high for the price of Hedera's token? Oh, it does. You see right there, like 87 cents. That would be a full 4.236 extension based on the market cap. However, the longer it takes, the lower this goes, because the supply will continue increasing. And so long as that supply is continuing to increase, the dilution of Hedera amongst token holders is going to bring down the price of the token. And this is a high inflation rate. And the only way you can battle these types of high inflation rates, like Elon Musk was saying, you're always going to have inflation. Bitcoin's got inflation. The only one out there, one of the only ones out there with that is Ethereum. You're going to have inflation in really most crypto assets, right? 99.9% of them. The only way you can negate that inflation is to be outperforming it. And if you're not massively outperforming it, then it's hurting you. So Hedera's got to get moving. But I took a shot at it here because I think that over the course of 2023, it will. That's my thoughts. Brian, have we finished the crash on the total bond market BND? So I don't watch the bond market all too close. Let's just look at it from indicator perspective. Indicator perspective would say it has bottomed. Massively oversold. And it looks like, yeah, it looks like the bottom would be in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. That's it. And then you have all your indicators of oversold coming back. Stochastic RSI pointing to the moon. You're about to get your MACD cross. My guess would be, yeah, it is bottomed. But thank you, Brian. And then, and that was your first time, Brian. Thank you. JCG Inc. And this will be it. We'll wrap it up for the morning at 2 hours. I got whooped at the end of 2 hours, man. I have not had breakfast today, guys. If I got grumpy there during that Dow stuff, I haven't eaten today. I wanted to, but the problem was I knew it was Wednesday, and I have to do extra prep for Wednesday to make sure that I got all my things up and running because I still don't have like a stream deck or whatever. Everything is done manually and done quickly. And I said, I don't have enough time to eat breakfast today. I have to hurry because, as you guys probably saw, for those who were here at the beginning, I only started 5 minutes before the markets opened. I was running late already, so I had no breakfast today. We're at 2 hours. I'm gonna wrap it up and I'm gonna go put food in my belly. JCG, thank you very much. Says, hey, can you show your XRP retrace overlay from previous years with expected areas of support? Your most loyal lurker, remember to like the live stream. So you can show your XRP retrace rally. Oh no, do I not have it on the screen? Come on, don't do this to me. Don't do it to me. This one right here, right? Which we do this every day. I grabbed the whole thing, didn't I? Oh well, we're just gonna look at it like that. So, yeah, I mean, if it goes back to the lows, I mean, the thing to watch for is just to see that the lows do hold. So that's my take. I'm going to treat this moment as it being my last opportunity to grab XRP. I'm going to expect the mood to be toxic, the mood to be fearful, XRP holders to be capitulating. The people who have been loyal to XRP through the whole time have suddenly given up. They're gone. They're like, I can't do this anymore. I don't know what the narrative will be at the time, but something will come up. And people would be screaming, blockchain backer, you better be right. I just rode this thing all the way down. That was your decision to do that. And then they'll be mad here. And that's what will be expected. I'll be buying. You know what they'll do? Just like they do every time. We're going to 20 cents. Because there's some other person doing TA on Twitter telling them that it is. Which, by the way, I've seen it just plastered all over Twitter that this has been Elliott waves happening in here. We talked about this all week. Last couple of weeks, been seeing it plastered all over Twitter that this is that. That has officially been invalidated for anybody in the clear as day. That is not that. This again, this takes way more credibility with that move that just happened right there. And this thing has lost all steam. You can see it here in the indicators. You can see we saw the divergences emerging over here on the relative strength. You can see that it had lost everything from the stochastic RSI. You got your MACD crossing over. You got everything. The weakness in price action is gone, and that is normal XRP price action. You get a big move, and then once the steam runs out, it's over. Big move, steam runs out, it's over, and it's always like that. So the steam is gone. The electrifying energy has faded. And now we just kind of wait for the next one. But this is probably the way we're going. But it's okay. It's okay. Here, we'll turn that off. There we go. All right. Love the retail trader voice, BCP. Yeah. I'm trying to think. What are some? What are the other ones? My wife. It's pretty funny. I try to do Hank Hill a lot with my wife. It's been a little while since I do it. I'm a little nervous to try it live on stream in front of 1,300 people. Dang it, Peggy. I love you. I mean, everybody knows that boy ain't right, but, you know, there's other ones that are funny. And then I'll literally be in my car by myself doing the butthead one. That's cool. Whoa. All right. We're done. 2 hours of rambling and nonsense at this point. I think I've answered all questions. Well, how's crypto? Let's just look at the markets and how we're doing now that the day is settling in. It looks like, you know, things have found XRP is back above 50 cents. So that initial sell-off that took place there is kind of calmed down. As we talked about at the beginning of the day, that's going to be coming. That's going to be from stop loss triggering that happens in there. And that's going to be liquidations that take that price action out in there. And that's not panic selling. That is stop losses and liquidations. So then when you have price action placed like this is how that happens. You have stop loss, stop loss, stop loss, stop loss, and something that is trending higher and higher and higher with higher lows. You are going to get stop losses placed all underneath it, and it will go liquidate all of them and take every single one of them till the last one is gone. And then, hey, that's the bottom. Thank you for giving me your assets. And then repeat, rinse and repeat, lure people back in, and then swipe all of their stop losses once again. Gold still struggling up there near the tops. The Dow, it's down 100 points. So the market, the indexes are down about 1/3 of a percent, 1/3 of a percent. When we started the morning, everything was down about 0.5%. So a little bit of a bounce coming off of a rough opening over there in the stock market. Otherwise, Gary Gensler did his whole thing yesterday. I'm glad to see that people were aware of it, that Congress was aware of his strategies that he was going to be using heading into that day. And while he did do exactly what his strategies tell him to do, that is dodge, duck, dip, dive. We all know you're supposed to say dodge again, but I think divert should be in there. Dodge, duck. We'll just say divert, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. There you go. You know, we all know the 5 Ds of dodgeball, right? But Congress was aware of that. They were prepared for it. They made a mockery of him doing it yesterday, and I thought that was good to see. That we are not alone in this journey of feeling that we are being made a mockery of the SEC. They will not give any clarity, and it is a hostile agency. So, I mean, I have a lot of bad words I could say about it. I better believe me, I'm biting my tongue to not be the absolute biggest jerk in the world and say the things I really want to say, trying to keep my channel PG as I always do. But all right. That's it, guys. Thank you. Let's do this. Let's finish it off. We got 1.5. That was 1.75. We don't want that. We want 1.5. Oh, no. There we go.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. This dude needs to get himself some breakfast because I did not do that today. I will do better next week. I know why I didn't. My day was off a little bit this morning because I had to go to the grocery store at 6 o'clock in the morning to get my daughter bacon for breakfast. So I left my house at 5:50 this morning to go get my daughter bacon. Yep. Trying to be an all-star dad today. That's what threw off my day. I didn't get to go to the gym this morning, and I had to go to the grocery store to buy bacon and be there right when they opened. And then I think that just kind of threw off my day. And then my daughter and I did like push-ups and sit-ups and burpees and all this kind of stuff. And I just had a kind of a weird morning. So that's what it is. I'm going to go eat. I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. Again, videos will return next week. I'm working on a lot of stuff outside of the YouTube channel right now. And I'm just trying to get these things done to meet deadlines, which I don't know if I'm going to do, but I'm trying my best. But then we'll get back on the videos. I understand a 2-hour live stream is absolutely ridiculous for a lot of people to be able to watch that. It's not their preferred format. They prefer the concise, delivered information. I enjoy doing those, and I'm back here making a bunch of those kind of videos right now. I'm just having to figure out how to break up my time because this is a project I've been wanting to do for 6 months. I haven't done it, and it's because of just time allocation. So I'm focusing my energy on getting that done. Then we get right back to making YouTube videos and keeping things cool the way a lot of people in formats that a lot of people enjoy, and I enjoy making too. So we'll return to that next week. Otherwise, guys, big couple weeks for me with traveling and stuff like that is going to consensus next week. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you could be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.